Hey, what's going on, everyone? YouTube, Facebook. It's your boy Manny Fresh, along with Hold on, there we go.
We still haven't gotten this right.
I know,
Lindsay
I'm
from
gonna
the
do it
West.
story.
Lindsay from the West End, and then
It's Marco with Walker Food Truck.
And it's another episode of Soundbites HTX. And today's guest, we're super excited to have. We are going across the country to the East Coast, out in Boston. Mr. Rudy. How you pronounce your last name? Rudy Bello?
Yeah. Wait. Hello, Jess. Do we have the contact? Is this the Houston? Houston, we got a problem. How's it going, guys?
Good. What's going on, my man?
Good. I'm just letting you know the guac is extra, and so am I.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to jump in today and chat with us, and tell us a little about your story and what you got going on.
Oh my God! Thank you guys so much for having
talking
me.
you up.
Thank you all for having me. I've been checking out your podcast, and as an ex-Houstonite, and I mean, Miss Lindsay here. Can I just tell them how I know you, Miss Girl?
yes, of course.
So she was my little what would you say, bartender?
Bartender.
I thought you were going to say sugar mama, bartender. Okay.
I wish I had enough money to be a sugar mama.
At my local watering hole.
Club
when I was looking for things to water. In other words, she worked at the gay bar, girl.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did. You get it? The watering hole?
Yeah, I get it.
See, that's called a pun.
Funny.
Oh, yeah. We had good times, for sure.
Very good time.
Remember
that one time I dressed up as a priest and you were like, and we, yeah.
Manny, you have the photo. I already sent Manny the photo.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Wait, that was Halloween. Yeah. And I just dressed up as I was just an angel of death.
And
I
then
didn't have a
just gotten off
costume.
work, yeah.
I didn't have a costume. I pulled these twigs that were decoration in my living room and just stuck them in my back and was like, ha, wings.
I'm looking for it now.
Oh, whoa.
Oh,
way back.
There's some pictures.
Would
Wow.
poop again.
Oh, there's the truck. There she is. So I named the truck. I named
There it
the
is.
truck.
There we go.
Yeah. Oh, we were so pretty.
We were still so pretty,
Oh,
baby.
we're so cute, girl. I don't know how that crucifix made it through the night. It probably should have melted on my chest. I shouldn't say that. Jesus forgive me. Look, I mean, I am a Catholic boy. Yesterday, I actually had my priest, the family priest, come and bless the truck like a good girl.
Latino.
The next, yes, pendeja. You know, the next thing is I'm gonna put the horn that goes pa 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 pa. The best, yes. You know what the best thing has been so far? That I've been making memes. I've been trying to go on millennial because even though I look cute, I ain't that young. I took a meme and I took a picture, and it's on the Vaz and Mac feed for Instagram, and it was a picture of John Favreau and John Leguizamo, who I've met and I love. He's a personal hero for many reasons. And
John Leguizamo?
and the
Great
little
guy.
boy, yeah. Yes, John Leguizamo, and for many reasons. And then the little boy, it shows the food truck, and they're looking off to the distance. And so then I put as the caption, "Oh fuck, here they come," and then I tagged them, and John Leguizamo was like, "Yes," and I'm like, "Yes." He didn't say yes. He liked it, but the point is, girl, come on, let me lead my moment. Let me exaggerate. We met at a gay bar. I mean, it's supposed to be drama.
And I love it. It was
So,
that
yeah.
was probably that was some of the best times of my life. In all fairness,
Same here.
I met, and I've actually kept in contact with so many of my friends from then. Actually, so today is the kickoff of Harbor to the Bay.
Yeah,
Remember?
that's right. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. My friend Brian Wiener, he does that.
Yeah,
So
they're
for
doing
people
it
that don't know,
virtually this year.
that's great, which is something that we're gonna do. We they, of course, being a gay bar, they do a lot of fundraising. And Lindsay, I'm not trying to plug them, but they're just anybody now that does anything for the community, especially the LGBTQ community, being a part of it. Myself is good in my book. And what the Harbor to the Bay is something that they do here in Boston, where they do a bike ride from Boston to the Bay, specifically Harbor to Provincetown.
Oh.
They do it over 2 days, right, Lindsay? I think it's a 2 day
No,
thing. No, it's a 1 day thing.
It's a 1 day thing, and so
Long.
Yeah, they used to start the ride in Copley Plaza,
Mhm.
which is like right around the corner from Club Cafe. And what was it? Is it a 66-mile bike ride?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 66-mile bike ride, and you could do the front half, you could do the last half.
Right.
But
They
I
make
mean,
it accessible. They make it.
Yeah.
They make it so that you know.
but it's hills, but it's a beautiful ride. And it's just a
beautiful
great
ride.
thing that they've done
I mean,
for many
it's
years.
water on either sides, pretty much, if you can see it, and it's
We
just
have,
really nice.
We have that ride here in Houston to Galveston.
I
it's
love
not-
Galveston.
it's
I love
probably not as pretty
Moody
as that ride.
Gardens, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I love
This one's
it
just
there.
all the way down 6 till you get to Galveston, and then
I
go
didn't
right
know
back.
about that one.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
not,
it
it's not
there.
as big. This one
Windy.
sounds like a nicer, a bigger ride.
Yeah,
So let's-
now that I can finally ride a bike again, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I finally rode a bike for the first time in a while.
Since the
this
accident?
weekend, since the accident, yeah.
Oh wow.
Let's back up a little. Let's back up a little and talk about how you're originally from Houston. Are you Houston? You're
So
Houstonian?
no, I used to be Houstonian. Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
So I worked for Continental Airlines.
Oh,
And
okay.
as you know, Continental Airlines is now United.
Mhm.
And United used to operate out of there. I used to do reservations. So I worked at 18. I moved to Houston, and I worked right on JFK Boulevard, which is right by IAH.
Right.
I was just there yesterday.
Yeah, and I live in what was then called Guns Point, Greens Point. I moved there with $600 in my pocket.
Wow.
I weighed pretty much 350 pounds. I was always obese. I think
Wow.
when Lindsay met me, I was already on my decline
Mhm.
of
How old are you?
Of weight. I'm 45. So I met
Okay, wow.
Lindsay.
I didn't
Yeah.
even know that. I didn't even know that.
Girl, it's called Kiehl's and like Neutrogena, a little bit of exfoliation, and of course hot sauce. Hot sauce.
So when you moved to Houston, you were 19. Where were you?
I
Where were
was
you?
19. Yeah.
Where were you before that?
Before that, I lived in the Dominican Republic, and before that,
Oh, okay.
Boston, born and raised. But I was
Okay, so
born and raised
you are
here.
born and raised in Boston.
Yeah, I'm a Boston
So then
boy.
you went out to the Dominican and you were in Houston. How long were you in Houston for?
So I did that. I was in Houston for college, so 4 years.
Oh,
And I
okay.
worked for Continental Airlines. And while I worked for Continental Airlines, it's weird. You're 18, and that's all I did. I didn't start college until like 2 years after working there. And we worked literally the reservation center. If you guys drive by it, it's where the simulator buildings are now.
Mhm.
That's where it was before. Now it's over by like North Harris, by I talk like I'm from there because I am. And it's over by Greens Point, by 45 and Beltway 8, by like where the Kroger and Target you were back then, and there was like a Bally's Total Fitness or whatever. That's where it is now. And they
Okay.
combined Richmond anyway. But back then, by the way, you guys are cool. I smoked a joint, and my business actually just promotes marijuana reform. And I just got to say, I'm going to talk a lot.
Now is it legal over there?
Yes, it is. Why do you
Yeah,
think
it
I
is.
say it? Why do you think I'm going to promote it?
There you go.
For the entire month of, in fact, I made special stickers where these guys have a joint or sticking out of each of their mouths, like diagonally, so it actually comes out of the, like three, like
What is
that.
that up there? Can you zoom it in?
Yeah. So this is our logo, and it's actually
Let me see if I
trademarked.
can pull them
And
up.
it's so this is Vaz and Mac, right? So Vasquez and McLean. So if you ask who's either, I'm neither. There it is. So yeah, so if you look, one of them's like a sombrero and one of them's like a 10-gallon, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So
now I see.
Vasquez, and so the LLC is Vasquez and McLean. And then one of my friends said, dude, it sounds like, do you have a DUI? Call Vasquez and McLean. Personal injury. Call Vasquez and McLean. You know what I mean?
It does. It actually does.
But I was totally like thinking like Smith and Walensky. I wanted something with panache. And he's like, no, bitch, it sounds like a fucking law firm. And I'm like, okay, great. So I'm like, all right, how do I make this a little bit, and I still wanted it to have significance. So I'm like, you know what? The whole thing goes on dichotomy and like and not just the food, but just the way that I employ and the way that I'm going to manage and everything. It's about bringing cultures together and diversity. And, I feel that, especially in our temperature, and I don't want to go into politics, but I feel that this is kind of like, I want to make a point that I want it to be a brand about bringing two things together. So that's why it's always monotone. You'll see the outside of the truck and all the stuff and the checkers on the trays. and it's two guys, so it's half of the silhouettes of one and the other. So with Vasquez is actually named after a female Marine that was in the movie Aliens, and she was the baddest ass of all of them. And there's the best line in it is when Bill Paxton asks her, "Hey Vasquez, anybody ever confuse you with a man?" And she looks at him, she was like, "No, have you?" And then, because she was so badass, and she was always taking front. She was always in the front lead because she was and at the end she was a hero. And so I liked her. And she was Mexican, and she had this thing that said "Adios, vamos." Like she would write graffiti on her weapons. I thought that was badass. And that's what they would say. She would say "badass." They would always like slap their hands. So then the other one, McClane, is actually my best friend, and his name's Josh McClane, who lives in Houston. He lives in Galveston, and he used to live in Case. Shout out to Josh. Shout out to Mac. And McClane is spelled in the way that he spells his last name, but it's another cowboy. It's actually John McClane from Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Die Hard.
Yeah. So it's just, again, two different types of cowboys in an environment that really isn't the Wild West. I call it Texaco because it's half and half. And it's and the
And the
food's kind of like,
Texacos died in Boston.
yeah, and it's in Boston. So it's like, so then like there's a whole campaign behind it that I'm trying to build a brand. One thing that I'm trying to focus on is like flavor and rubs, and I'm doing this whole riff on Black Lives Matter. So instead of like the whole logo, it's very similar, but in black and white again. And it says like burrito girth matters. And in the center, the girth is the part that's like highlighted. So then there's another one like handmade tortillas matter. And you're like tortillas would be in the middle highlight. So like that, specific things and bullet points about what makes us stand apart are like in three things, ... And they're all done in the Black Lives Matter style or whatnot. But of course,
branding.
with dashes of but with our branding and stuff. And I really want to make an impact. We're making vote stickers. I want one of the things that's really important that I want to get across in there, which is why I'm like, Lindsay, I want to get my message across, is like, I want to say about 10 to 13%. And I say that because it fluctuates, of my business model is giving back. I am giving back because I got this after, going through some hard times. And it's something that like I really, 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 really feel passionate about. And when you're in a situation where you're in a hospital and you don't know if you're gonna walk again, and and you've been chewed out by fucking what's his name? The nerd. No, he's not the nerd. I love him.
Nerd.
My host, what's his name? Elton Brown.
Oh.
Twice. I've gone through a lot of cool stuff doing this, and I've never went to culinary school, and it's a lot of ups and downs. And the cool thing is that now I finally have a business where I can't get fired and I can super be creative and do really fun stuff and give back and hire the people that I want to hire and give to those, organizations that get left behind, like Bagley, Boston Area Gay Lesbian Youth Organization. And they deal with, they've been dealing with Bagley with trans kids since there was even a thing for it, since before the movie Bully. And, I want to father a child in the next 5 years, so I want to make sure that all of my charities are youth based, and I want to try to do that, and a lot of cooking stuff for kids that are in those wards. Because when I can only imagine if you're an adult and that you're going to get an adult, that you're going to get there. But even me having faith and thinking, I'm going to get through this. Imagine a kid at St. Jude or something, and they can't move or whatever, and for us, they would have people come up. I know I'm digressing all over the place, but I already told you. Like,
you have so many branches, and I love it.
I know, girl. Get to know my main branch. It's called Vaz and Mac, and it's a delicious food line. By the way, you like this T-shirt?
I want to
know. Buy some T-shirts. I'm raising funds, y'all.
I want to know. So you were born and raised in Boston. You spent some time in the Dominican. You came out to Houston. You spent 4 years in Houston.
Yeah.
You were going to school.
And when I went to Houston, I had no idea what Tex-Mex was. My idea of Tex-Mex was Old El Paso taco mix that you make at your house. I had never had a tamale. I didn't know what Nick's tamale. Girl, please, no, nothing. And then on a training trip, for Continental Airlines, they took me to Papacitos.
Oh,
my mind was blown.
Yeah.
And then I discovered food trucks, and then I started working for Continental, and we have nonstop flights. I'm probably sure that now it's United, but I'm pretty sure that they still have the most nonstop flights to any Mexican city especially out of Houston, and they were all nonstop. So I digress, but now I remember where I came. See, I'm back. I'm back. So when I was 18 and you didn't have anything to do, I would always have a passport in the back of my car. It was a little Honda Civic or a Honda Accord, and we literally parked right by the simulator. So I would literally have a to-go bag, and my friends and I, if we had 2 consecutive days off, we'd get on the computer, and it was literally a green CRT, right? Like, and you could hear the planes take off outside. It was the best. I mean, those were the best days of my life, honestly, because it was like you're 18, you have a good job. At the time, I was making like $13 an hour in 1993, 94. My rent in Houston at the time was like $220 in Guns Point in a brand new apartment complex that like was brand new.
I love how you just naturally just say Guns Point. now.
Like,
It's
well,
like,
because
no,
girl, look at my
Point.
skin tone. I can say it. I live by Imperial Valley. Like, you didn't go there unless you wanted to get shot. I'm sorry, drugs or a hooker. Like, honestly, like what
Or
were
to the carnival.
Right? It's the truth. I mean, I don't know if it's like, and I live.
It hasn't changed much.
Well, I live
Yeah,
right
no,
across
it
the
hasn't
projects,
changed
and
at
you know, I'm from the bricks and the sticks. I can say it and get away with it. So it's the truth.
So what were you going to school for when you were in Houston?
Marketing.
Nice. Now while you were the whole time that you were in Houston, you were working for Continental, right? All right. I want to know how you got into the food industry. When did that take place?
Since birth, and I'm not gonna. I'll shorten it. I'll condense it. I used to weigh 415 pounds, so I've always loved to.
At what age?
I had gastric bypass at 26.
Oh wow!
I've met Carney Wilson. I've met John Popper in Austin, and both of those people were people that inspired me because that's a whole other story. I think I told it to you. I swear to God that shit in my life happens by divine intervention. And I'm not a Bible thumper, by the way. I mean, yeah, the cross is here, and I said what I said, and then I had to retract it. But I'm very spiritual. I believe in shit. And shit happens for a reason. On my 26th birthday, I went to Six Flags. They bumped me off a ride because I didn't fit. The harness didn't close on me. They bumped me off, and as they bumped me off, this girl that was probably my age makes eye contact with me and goes like, feeling shame for me. And I'm like, oh no, let me go eat my feelings and get me a big old sundae. Actually, make that 2 because it's what you do. On 2 hour ride home later, I'm flipping channels. I'm on MTV. John Popper, has just had gastric bypass. I'm like, oh, good for him. Click the channel like literally immediately. Now they're talking about Carney Wilson. You know, she's been out in surgery. I'm like, oh, good for her. Click, and now I'm on Discovery Health Network, which is national. And now it's like a whole fucking half-hour show on gastric bypass, and they have this Asian doctor, Edward Moon, and I'm like, all right, God, you're trying to tell me something. So I get off my fat ass because it was 415 pounds at the time, and I get up on the computer and I start looking up, and wouldn't you know that Dr. Edward Moon, the one on the show, was rated number 3 in the country and was at Brigham and at Faith Israel Deaconess. Make my appointment, and he told me, and this should give you some indication of my tenacity. Oh, Mr. Bello, you know, you're great, and you're a nice guy. I just don't think that you. And maybe it was psychological thing. I just don't think that you're qualified. I was like, why not? I definitely have
you're candidate for it.
Yeah, you're candidate for it. Like, why not? I said, because I don't think that you have the mental capacity to do it. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like I think you have to go through psychological evaluations, and because it's a lot. You know, and you're gonna, you know, we want to see a commitment, and we don't think that you can commit. And I looked at him, and I'm like, what, bitch? All right. No, this story gets good, and you'll see why it gets good. All right, bitch. I did what I had to do. I lost 35 pounds before surgery. I went down to 385. They scheduled me for surgery. That was on my birthday, May 6th. Surgery was October 5th of the same year, 2001.
And what exactly does that procedure do?
So your stomach is about the size of a fist. If you go like this and you stick out your thumb, when the time you're done, that's the size of your new stomach. So now, since the food still enters through the same way, it needs to exit, and they've stapled. It has nowhere to exit, correct? Right. So that they go on the bottom about 12 inches after the exit point, and they snip. So 12 inches of intestine are now bypassed, hence gastric bypass. In those first 12 inches of intestine, a lot of breaking down happens, and your body extracts a lot of nutrients from fat, carbohydrates, everything. So let's say if you're consuming 100 pieces of pie, what your body really is only going to extract 70, 60, insert amount here. It's not going to be 100, and it's not going to be 100 for a long time. So there's malnutrition that occurs for the first year, and also capacity, because remember, they've shrunken your size. Hence that. You also get this thing that's called dumping syndrome. You can't have foods that are either high in fat or high in sugar for the first year, 2 years. I still don't do it because, so it's a tool. It's not a surgery and are as successful. 19 years later, I'm in a half percentile point of people that have had the surgery are successful and have kept it off.
Wow.
When I had it, I was the first one in my work group at Continental Airlines to have it done. And after me, one guy had it before me. He doesn't look the same way that he did after surgery or the same way as I do. And I'm not being shady. He just doesn't. I think he was looking to have more surgery. So that's not shade. So there you go. There's other people that have had it, but they haven't been that successful, and they've maintained it off. But a lot of people have, it's not a cure. So after that, he contacted me. He's like, Rudy, there's this association of bariatric obstetrician or bariatric surgeon, whatever, and we do these talks to groups of people to get them so that they're insured, because insurance pays for it, and this is a big money maker for these doctors. And if they can get insurance companies to do it, so people like me, I'm like the Weight Watchers baby, right? So they would put me in front of these people to speak, and who else could motivate them? Cardi, honey. Well, not Cardi, Rudy. So, and they'd pay me. Oh, great. It pays $350. Oh, great. Hey, Doc, remember when you said that I couldn't do it? Yeah, I'm worth $500.
Nice.
I got $500.
Nice. Now, let me ask you this.
Don't tell me I can't do something, because I'm going to do it. This is an example.
Do you keep a workout regimen? How does working out or how does that play into it? Not
flabby.
really.
I'm skinny fat. And I'm fat where it counts. My burritos are bomb. So, girth matters. We're good. Can we go to the next question? No, I'm joking. I'm so X-rated, but I knew that I could get away with it in this one. Listen. I walk a lot. I'm very active. I'm on my feet. I've been waiting tables forever.
The reason I asked is because you mentioned the other person and that his results weren't the same, and I was just wondering, why? Is it because are you more conscious of what you eat?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you go on my Facebook right now, like last week I counted, I think 30 supplements, and the bag is this. It's probably, I haven't counted the pills, but it's probably like about over 20 for sure. And they're all supplements and minerals. I started a ketone program. And now that I had an accident last year that I was pretty much disabled. So, but now I feel great. So now I get to ride my bike, and I'm walking more. Now that I started this business, I'm pretty sure I'll be more active. I've never been a couch potato. The reason why I've been able to recover almost at 100% is because I push myself. Like, I just can't. I can't. Lindsay, you saw, whenever I would be at a club back in the day, I was on the box. Okay. I was the white party, like, little circuit boy.
So at Club Cafe was such an interesting place.
It was. It really is. I outgrew it. I don't go there anymore.
It's an anomaly. Well, I don't either, but it's an anomaly, really, because you walk in and it's a beautiful fine dining restaurant, white linen. Like,
I wouldn't say fine dining.
Well,
I would say casual dining. I would say.
Okay, So
Okay, well, no, they have. Do they have linens? Do
Upscale.
they have linens? Yeah, they have linens.
upscale casual dining.
Upscale casual dining. Yeah,
Upscale casual dining.
yeah. It's
But
like
then-
going to Sir
I don't know.
or like going to WeHo and going in like it's like what's comparable in Houston? It's not Eddie V's. It's not Papa Brothers Steakhouse.
Glorious.
It's a glorious.
It's interesting though. It's more interesting in the fact that you have this beautiful like upscale,
nice place. It's a contrast
place.
is where she's getting at. Yeah.
but then you walk a little further and you've got this whole
Leather
little lounge
daddies
area.
and chaps and assless, like and the drag queens, and drag disco, drag bingo, drag insert theme, drag bingo, drag this, drag that, like anything. By the way, we need to talk because I need you to get. I want to do a. I want to. So I think I can let it out of the bag here. I had a contract with. I had a contract for this character that I do. His name is Shea Goulet, and remember when I was promoting Shea Goulet, and he's very flamboyant. He talks like this. He wears only red because that's his color. That's where he gets his power from, right? Don't make fun of my accent. I see you smirking, pendeja, loca. Wow, I see you. So anyway, this Shea Goulet character is going to be hired by Sebastian Damac, and he is going to be the spokesperson. So it's like my alter ego is going to be my own spokesperson, and because the split personality, I love it. And it's only 2. I mean, it's a problem like if it's 7, like you're like, then we're gonna start to call you Sibyl. But when it's only 2, I mean, we all have 2 faces. I mean, look at Cardi B. She a freak in the hoe. I mean, she said it. What girl? Wet and Gucci. And I'm not talking about the fashion label. I'm talking about moisture. I'm talking about sensitivity in the nativity scene, because that's where the creation happens, honey. That is the cradle of the life. And speaking of the cradle of life, let's talk about eggs. At Bass and Mac, we are going to bring breakfast tacos to the scene because something? Boston doesn't do breakfast tacos, Lindsay.
Boston doesn't do kolaches either.
What the fuck is up with that, Lindsay?
I know! They don't have kolaches
They
anywhere.
don't know what. They do not know what a migas is. They don't know what migas is.
Wow.
They don't know what migas is. That's like going through life without knowing what oral sex is. I mean, how can you live a life and call yourself wait, excuse me. EQ. How can you live your life and call yourself a taco lover or a lover of Tex-Mex and not know? I mean, girl, it's okay if you haven't tried it, but you don't even know what it is. Unforgivable.
I mean, you are in Boston though. It's not a thing.
Let's jump into that because I'm real curious how.
I want to know about food trucks in Boston.
2 questions. One, when did you decide? When did you make that jump? So
I used to be a fashion photographer, and I used to have a photo studio on Newbury Street. At the time, I was 400 pounds. I would take pictures of these beautiful models and would tell them, suck it in. My pictures would be published in stuff like Improper Bostonian, Boston Magazine. I even made it into like Martha Stewart Living. I even made it into Details, this magazine called Lemon. I would work for free, anybody that would hire me, because I was trying to make it into fashion. And I was in the wrong city and I didn't have any money.
And this was in Boston?
In Boston. My studio I had 2 studios at one point. I had one on Newbury Street, which is kind of like the equivalent of Rodeo Drive. That's where all the spas are. That's where all of the label houses are. Givenchy, like Betsy Johnson, Gucci. I was across from Port Armani Cafe in Armani. I was across. It was really cool. It was cool. It was where I wanted to be at the time that I wanted to be in my 20s. And one day my brand new like $6,000 Mac G5 tower with the perforated front and at the time you had to attach an antenna for the airport to work, got stolen. There was no Dropbox. If it was in its infancy. There was no cloud, and the screen, everything was gone. And I had the portfolio, I had some film, but I had just started doing the transition to Man, even thinking about it just gives me the chills. It was so horrible. I mean, all they took was that. That's all they took, and I was literally out for 15 minutes in Rosendale. I was working at Sibling Rivalry at the time, which was this restaurant, again, dichotomy. It was two brothers, and they took one ingredient, put it in the middle of the menu, and then they did something with it. It didn't even have to be the main ingredient. It just had to be included in the dish. It was successful for many years. It was really cool decor, fine dining all the way. You knew that every person in there was $20, $20, $20, $25, $30, depending on the party. Basically, I was banking. But at the same time, as I was banking, I was learning how to cook because everybody back there was Colombian. And I was getting into the whole food scene. Top Chef had just started. Food Network, Emeril Lagasse, Rachel Ray were like, I'm a total fanboy. Okay. I'll put that out there right now. I'm not the type that follows them or tweets them or whatever, but I totally respect a come up. I respect my heroes in the scene. They're all female and they're hated by the male chefs. I like Ina Garten. I like Rachel Ray. I like Anne Burrell. I like I like Katie Lee. I like Sunny Anderson. I like those women. Why I like Maro, the other guy. I like the guys that aren't pros. Why? Because usually they come from a background of passion. They're caterers. Martha Stewart didn't publish her first book, so she was 43. I'm 45. Chadwick Boseman just died. He was 43. Life works in different ways for different people. And then you look at people like the other one, Sandra Lee, semi-homemade. She's rich. She doesn't even need to work. She has her own compound. You've got these movie stars that are still trying to stay in the limelight, and they go into cooking, but some of them you can tell that they do have chops for it. I'm not going to mention names here, but you know who they are. The ones that are stand out, and you can tell by the author stuff. But then you've got these Real Housewives. I'm not mentioning names, but if you can't pronounce cumin and you say cumin, and I love you, Teresa Giudice, I love you. I will go to the earth for you. I will love you. But let's be real, girl. She puts her name on it. She goes into the thing. They're shooting the food for her. They're cooking it for. They may be her mother's recipes. I'm not saying that they're not. But I used to be a photographer. I'm shooting my food. I'm writing my food. I'm testing my food. I'm cooking my food. I'm marketing my food. I live, I shit, I eat, I breathe my food. Not in that order, because that would be nasty. And I'm not a fucking centipede or a human nothing. But the point is, there's passion here, and I appreciate passion in other people. And you gotta give that. And that said, for the professional chefs, the ones that have a background that came from nothing, I like Bobby Flay. I'll admit it. I like Bobby Flay. People say he's a dick. Okay, I don't care. I like Bobby Flay. I hate Mario Batali. My character, Shea Goulet, is a riff off Mario Batali. He wears shorts and red Crocs, and he's pretentious, and he hangs out with people like Gwyneth Paltrow. And, and he's a name dropper, and he's in it for the wrong reasons. I'm not saying that Mario Batali is, or maybe I am, but I don't like Mario Batali. And half of America doesn't either. He doesn't have a show anymore. I wonder why. Look, it is what it is. I like people that are passionate, and I like food trucks that are passionate. And food trucks are that. Food trucks are driven by chefs, by people that can't get a job because they'll get fired. That can't get at least because they don't have the means and they're trying to do it on their own. But they're passionate enough that they fucking are able to do it, and they fucking do it. And when they do it, they are able to open up 2 and 3 and 4, and those are the ones that you admire. Those are the ones that wind up on Food Network and with the brick and mortar.
So how did you ever end up on Food Network in the first place? Like, how did that happen? Because you've been on.
So I applied for Master Chef, and I was the casting director's name is Randy Bernstein, and he's the owner of Casting Duo. Randy, I need a job. I've already emailed you 3 times, Andy. 3 times, Randy. And I would go in there, and in the thing, I'd say, Randy has ridges and Rudy has feathers that like to be ruffled. And I just went into character like you saw, and he was just mesmerized. And then when he saw that I could go in and out of character, and then he saw that I could cook, and he saw that I was a show, he loved me. Because, those shows, in all honesty, they're looking for a character.
Yeah.
And they're looking for a character that can only hold you for 30 minutes, and I can hold you for 30 minutes. And I was able to do it enough more than once and for more than one show. But at the end of the day, those shows are, to me, they exploit you. They're more about the show, which is why they hired me. And I knew that. I knew that. But at the time, I thought I was getting exposure for my business. And you do it for what you do it. I'm not saying it's not stripping, okay? It is what it is, and I'm not denying it or whatever. I can put it in my resume. I have a reel now that I can use. I have a great memory that I did with my little sister. We met on national TV. She's a lesbian. We met on national TV after not seeing each other for like 15 years because she's my half sister. For that reason, so I have a lot of great memories. Like I have great memories from the airline industry, and everything I try to do it for what am I going to get out of it, right? So I did that, and I didn't make it at the end. At the end, like I got on, and I didn't make it. I didn't make it on the show, but I made an impression in Randy. And then they were like, "Hey, we're casting Cutthroat Kitchen. Do you want to be there?" And I was like so nervous. I'm like, "You think they're gonna pick?" I was just heartbroken. Like I did not want to interview. And Stacy Snow, who's on my Facebook as well, I became friends with all of them. And Stacy, she's like, "Oh no, you're already on the show. We just need to interview you for it." I'm like, "Really?" Like, yeah. So they put me on, literally, and I was like on the first season. And my episode, they sent me episodes to watch, and the episode that they sent me to watch was Jeffrey Goudreau, who's he's Haitian from Boston as well, or he was in Top Chef Boston. I think he's from Houston actually, and he came in second place, and he was also in this last season of Top Chef Masters, and his season was in Boston. He was in like season 1 of Top Chef, of a Cutthroat Kitchen, and the guy that he competed against, who he beat, was on my show, Frenchie. Little did I know that Frenchie's an ex-porn star. So the day that we are, yes, girl, yes. Wait, it gets so no. On my episode, he wasn't on, but they liked me so much that they called me back as an all-star. So I went back that summer into Pasadena, and they had us outdoors in this set where they filmed this show called Utopia for Fox. And
we've been talking about this show.
So this show, I never fucking saw the show, but it's riddled. It's like swimming with rattlesnakes. Okay, the whole grounds of the place, and you could hear them. I'm sorry, I had to like check my batteries, and I'm a business lady. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur now, so I need to be available. Okay, and so they filmed us out there. We had commissary, the whole nine. The great is that they call us talent because like you're returning talent, and like and the other of the all stars were there, and like. Oh, I know you because you see each other, and that was really cool. And then they called me to do another one. I auditioned for like The Taste, and I would always get far. But then it got to the point that in one summer, like I was on 3 shows, and they don't like seeing the same face. So then I just stopped interviewing, and stopped in. But it got to the point that they would call me, and I'll be honest, if it doesn't show, I love the spotlight.
Surprises me none. So
how do I look?
Beautiful as always. So when did you decide to
So then I got hired in Houston in Austin at this bar called Workhorse. And once they hire you at a bar, like you can't.
And that's like the last time I saw you is when I.
Yeah, once they hire you at a bar, you're considered. Once you start working at a restaurant, you're considered a pro, so you can't apply for Master Chef because they called me back. But at that point, because it's only for home chefs, but you can still do all the other stuff. So then because I got that job, I was able to still maintain good jobs like at high-end restaurants as a waiter, and I got a job at Fonda San Miguel. And I didn't like my work environment, but I loved the restaurant. And again, I used the same technique that I did when I was at Sibling. Instead of getting my chops with creme brulee and sous vide and making ravioli and and what's a short rib and how to make pâtés, now I was deep in Mexican, and I got to meet Diane Kennedy. I honestly, I moved to Austin to work at that restaurant. And I told the manager that it opened in the same year that I was born. Again, remember how I told you I believe in shit? And it was like on the street that I live, like everything like added up, and I got it like, and it came at a time where I was going through some stuff, so I really didn't take the opportunity the best way. And it wasn't the best time in my life, and it wasn't the best environment. I didn't thrive there, but I made the most of it, and I became friends with a few of the chefs there, and I learned. And to be honest, I'm not knocking them. I'm not knocking them. The food's great, but I'm pretty sure they still do the same thing. My friend Natalie Gazui from Austin, she's like, she works for Hurla's and all. She works for the McGuire Restaurant Group.
Hurla's.
She worked for the McGuire Restaurant Group. She's so talented. She's now working with them. And I don't know. I'm not dogging them out. But when I saw the way, I'm not even going to say how they prepare their food. But when I saw the way that they actually prepare the food, I'm like, holy shit, this is a food truck. Because really, when you think about it, Mexican food, enchiladas, it's all pre-made. You're out of a well. You are. When I saw that they were even using a microwave, I'm like, but the food is delicious. There's nothing wrong with the food. I'm not knocking the food. I was just expecting the Wizard of Oz, and it's not. The magic of Fonda San Miguel comes in the preparation, the quality of the ingredients, the authenticity. Tom Gilliland, God bless him, he and I don't get along, but Tom, he is a connoisseur of fine art, and that restaurant is gorgeous. It doesn't have a price in my book. It has a courtyard. It has a history. People go there people seek it. People plan pilgrimages to go there. I learned about Huitlacoche there. I learned about everything there. The plates, the we had 3 uniforms. We had a Sunday brunch where we wore all white. It's a thing. And the hiring I feel very fortunate to have worked there. Not everybody gets to work there. That's a fact. I feel very, very fortunate to have worked there. And what I can say about the kitchen is it's efficient, it's fast, and it's delicious, and it's simple to do.
I love the words that you use, the adjectives that you used,
because I don't want to insult anybody. I'm very
but I think it's critical, and I think it's really it's critical. You said that the magic happens in the prep, the quality of the ingredients, and the authenticity of it, and that's huge.
And then you're enjoying it, and then you're enjoying it in a work of art.
Yeah, I think a lot of people miss that, and I'm glad that you said that, and I'm glad that you have the eyesight.
And that's what I'm bringing here.
Yeah,
I mean, the thing about Fonda San Miguel is their tortillas, both types, were handmade. I'm making my own corn to start eventually once I get rolling and get good staff. Both. Nobody else, not even the brick and mortar, do it. Nobody's doing mole. I'm doing mole. Nobody does chile relleno. I'm doing it as specials, and I'm doing 2 types. I'm doing the rehydrated dark ones, and I'm doing the regular ones. I get to do whatever the fuck I want.
So
but I know how they do it now, and I know that it doesn't need to be done. I know that if you take time to really toast that chili, the way, oh my God, I posted it. I have a convection oven, like one of those little Brazil smart ones, and I've been cooking at home, testing out my recipes, and I just put them in the air frying rack. And I let them in there and I let them go. Holy shit. They puff up like almost like if they're full again. And they get this beautiful aroma and color that the whole house was smelling. The food's so delicious and it's so out of the box. Like I wanted to keep it. So like the menu's very much like it's not a copy of Fonda because Fonda isn't really doing anything different either. They're doing traditional Mexican food their way. I'm doing traditional Mexican food my way. Where I'm doing different is that I have, like, again, dichotomy. So then I'm doing stuff like fried green tomato tacos, where you take plum tomatoes, or if they're regular, they're not seasoned, but I'm not cutting them horizontally. I'm cutting them in wedges, and I'm breading them so that then you can do wedge of avocado, fresh, wedge. I'm breading them and frying them in cornbread. I'm making a remoulade, which is traditional, but now I'm doing habanero, again, infusion. Again, you would know, Texasian. So now we've got that. So we're doing fusion, right? And then what's the other component on that one? That's it. And just pico de gallo. And I call it the piñata because the piñata, it's something that's in a shell. You crack it open and poof, a party. So the confetti is the party. That's the pico de gallo. Got the colors from the yellow and the green of the avocado. And you have to crack open that green fried green tomato because I do a 3-step coating. I freeze it and then I go ahead and coat it again. It's so delicious. Not freeze it. I put it in the fridge. It's so delicious. It's dipped in buttermilk, so for that reason, it's not vegan, but it certainly is vegetarian, and it's fucking delicious.
How long did it take you to come up with and complete your menu? Design
I
your
smoked a
menu?
lot of weed, and I had quarantine, so not long. I mean, let's face it. One of the reasons I started this initially, and I did smoke a little, but I needed to loosen up because I'm normally not this expressive, but I had to be. I mean, this is my one shot, right? You guys have great ratings.
Yeah,
And
we
I
have
need
millions.
people to buy. I need people to
You're-
buy
you're
my
in front of
t-shirts.
millions right now.
I know, and I thank you guys for helping me out. and
Like half
putting
of
me on the
America
show.
is watching it right now.
No, so no, I what was the question?
I love the energy, bro. I love it. Hey, now,
Dude,
no,
that-
but
that-
seriously,
that-
how long did it take you? How long
It
did
took
it
me.
take you?
So
But
the initial
also,
menu, like the menu that's online, it took me like about I don't know a day because it's really traditional. And I
okay.
would say okay, mix and match and give people. It's online now.
How many
But the-
items do you have on there?
I have about 15 items right now. I'm gonna take the truck out with 6 every day. I'm not gonna do a full menu every day.
Okay.
Once I've been
Nice.
able to have a brick and mortar that I can do takeout out of, full thing is gonna go on. I'm gonna do like kitschy stuff, like for kids, because I want it to be the type of stuff where you can bring your girlfriend and bring your kids.
Mm.
So if you want to do the $10, fisherman's platter and the taco, which I call La Sirena, and that's basically a cod stick, a fish of fried cod, right? And then it has sauteed bay scallops, so a few of them, so they look scattered along the side of the taco, and then a couple of shrimp that are fried and battered, and then some salmon roe. So it has 3 different kinds of fish, and then it has like again another Mexican infused tartar sauce, and that's on a tortilla. So that's a $10 taco, but look at all the proteins that you're
Yeah.
getting, and where else are you going to be able to get that?
And
And
what's-
you're in New England. It's the best fresh seafood. So I'm making the most of what I've got around me. I'm still keeping it Mexican, still keeping it gourmet, and that's where I went with it. How can I do what's around me and make it so a vegan chorizo with sweet potato tater tots? So chorizo and potato. Well, it's still chorizo, it's still potato. It's just presented in a different way, which has always been my gist with anything I've done. Like me. I'm strong enough for a woman, but girl, this was made for men, okay?
What's your outlook for Boston? How's the food truck scene look out there? Have you talked to other food truck owners
what?
out there?
It's been really hard because of the pandemic, and
Mhm.
I'm not saying it's been really hard for the pandemic just for me to get out. And I'm still unemployed, you guys. I'm keep throwing that out there. This is a hunk of junk right now. It's still not permitted. COVID happened. I was waiting tables at a Mexican restaurant, which was perfect because to answer your question, I did not. But prior to this opening, I was working to a restaurant who's like Voldemort. We shall not speak the name. Moment of silence. So it was great because I got to see what works, what doesn't work, what price points work, what promos work. Authenticity. Don't say that you're selling something that is not. Don't call it homemade if it's not. Trump's not the only one doing the fake news, people. And I called them out on their social media. I did. While I was working there.
How'd that go?
How can you advertise something that hasn't been on the menu for 2 weeks? How can you say homemade chorizo when it comes in a bag that looks like a condom?
So, Rudy, we have a question though. Hold on. I'm gonna bring it together for a second.
I never mentioned a name.
Hey, Rudy.
Yes,
So
I'm sorry.
first off,
That was
no, you're
shady.
good.
That was shady.
I got them.
That
I don't know if you
was
can
shady.
hear it, but they're calling me. Hello.
They found you. But I'm only bringing this up because I know that you have a Zoom meeting with Toast.
No, it's
and-
actually done.
No.
Because I just found out that we were on Central Time.
Oh shit.
Oh, yeah.
So I sent
Oh,
them a
shit. Oh, fuck. I didn't even think of. Oh, sorry.
and it
I
wasn't
didn't
with
think
and it wasn't with Toast. It wasn't with Toast. It was with Grubhub, and it doesn't
Oh.
matter because, like I said, this is nothing right now. I already canceled it. Yeah, I have all my. That's another thing. I already paid for all my equipment. I'm already in the point of like, yeah, like I can't every day. It's like I keep getting that automated voicemail message saying your restaurant is ready for Uber Eats, but you are not online. And I'm like, bitch, I know, I know, and my bank
So-
account knows, and like my landlord knows. You know, everybody know. We all know, girl. Now these people know.
So then,
millions.
what's your next step? Like, you've got
So
the truck.
so right,
you
my
got
next
the
step. So the food truck's here, the menu's here. Everything's ready to go. Really, it's just fundraising right now. I'm selling t-shirts at vaznmac.com. Vaz VAZN as in letter N, Mac.com. Or Vasquez and McLean will take you there as well. And there's a link that says merch. They're $25, but if you use the name of the vessel, which every truck is gonna have the first half look the same, but the back half is gonna have a different mural. And I got that inspiration from Spirit Airlines, I think. No, Frontier Airlines. They changed
Yeah.
the plane. Yeah, so I love that. And being an airline baby, I love that. And plus, it gives me an opportunity to design again every time I buy something new. Also, something that's not a secret. I've already posted. I already bought a trailer. I already have a food trailer. It's 19 feet.
You have a trailer and a truck.
Yeah.
Wow.
A trailer.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Like, I had this money, and you know, there's tax laws and there's stuff that you had to do. So it's like, if I keep it, I get penalized. If I keep it and get, or I might spend it and buy a Mercedes, or do something really irresponsible, which I've been known to do in the past. But for about 3 years now, I haven't done that thing from the past. So I'm in a really good place in my life right now, and I don't want to fuck it up. So I decided, let me take this money and
invest in the future.
invest it and just put it aside. And my goal is to hopefully get some support from the LGBTQ community. Half of the guys on my side of my truck are in front of a pride flag. So I really want this to be almost like, let me show you some of the merch. It's really a synonym and an ode to gay and lesbian. The name of this vessel is Brokeback Taco. So if you go online and use the promo code Brokeback Taco, all one word, you don't pay for shipping. And I'm designing everything. Like, literally, like, this is my little Robert Indiana tribute. So instead of love, it's that. I'm making these little acrylic ones. I'm making one for each item. So this is like the chips, like I Heart Chips, and it's kind of cloudy because it has a little piece of film that you got to remove so it can be shiny. This is like yay! Everybody loves rainbow. Yeah. And then the keychains I made keychains like those two. I made these little buttons, and then so these are like, and so I'm like, these ship for free, of course, but then like these I had to charge for shipping because like I paid for these are nice quality t-shirts too. They're Next Level is the name of them. I mean, they come in black and white, and it's just I wanted to do like I love burritos or I love tacos, and then do like vote 2020 and do a whole campaign and try to do like a whole thing with social media and try to be all trendy. But that's money and it's time and COVID. Yeah. So then I just went like I did that, like, you know, and it has like the social media on it. But the front I kept it simple, and they're available in black and white sizes. Small, medium, large. And then I'm also going to be able pretty soon, like I'm going to go online tonight with Toast, and I'm going to set up the gift card situation so that we can at least start selling and pre-selling
Have you been
the
using
gift cards. I've used Toast as a manager and as a waiter and as everything else.
Because I was gonna say, like, if you need any help, like, I've been using Toast.
Oh God, no! I'm a pro. And I'm gonna plug them. They're the best. That's why I chose them. They're based in Boston. They're based in Boston. Yeah, they're based in Woburn. I'm trying to just stay local and, you know, keep the money where it is. And it's been hard, man. It's been really hard opening.
Let me ask you
in the middle of
this.
the pandemic because I haven't been able to qualify for loans yet because I still don't have my business permit. I wasn't able to get my business because here's the deal.
So yeah, we want to talk about.
Let me tell you how this works. You get the truck, but you still need to get it permitted and get all of the licensing. But in order to even start the licensing process, you need to have a primary kitchen facility where you're going to operate it on. So basically, until I sign a lease with a kitchen that meets the city's criteria and is already permitted, until I sign a lease and present that signed lease with my paperwork, I can't even begin to get a DBA, yet alone anything else. All right. So here's the deal. Like anything else, there's leases. When I had my business plan initially, I was going to share a restaurant space with an existing restaurant that belonged to a friend of mine. It gets very dicey with the city. It gets very dicey with the health department. It gets very dicey with taxes when you're bringing in two different revenues, two different companies, two different EINs. It just gets dicey. As a new business, you don't want that to begin with. As an established business, you don't want that to begin with either. And as friends, I don't want to ever, break that friendship over that. So essentially, it wasn't going to work. And it wasn't going to work because we couldn't overlap hours. We couldn't share, we couldn't do takeout. I was going to infringe on his already existing brand. And it wasn't going to give my brand an opportunity, a thriving opportunity to start off properly. It just wasn't. So in Boston, when I left and I moved to Austin and I moved to Texas for the second time, I'm at 10%, guys. I'll let you know when I'm about to die. So I know, girl, I told you I could talk.
I didn't know that already.
Mm-hmm. That's right. You would hear me in my girl, that guy over there. You think he's a top or a bottom?
We're getting the old Rudy and Lindsay conversations here.
Tell you. So it was the situation. The situation hasn't been easy because it just threw everything up in the air. And not only that, budgets that were in existence that I was going to open on Cinco de Mayo. My birthday's May 6th. I was going to do it on Cinco de Mayo, have my birthday on the same day. That didn't happen because of COVID. I had free booze lined up with Corona. That didn't happen when they named the fucking virus after you. It's just been obstacle after obstacle. So long story short, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. I just signed the contract today with the kitchen.
Oh,
nice.
Oh, yeah.
So then your next step is...
So all the paper, I just have to go and lick some envelopes and send them because you have to actually send some stuff in. So now that I have that, I already emailed the city clerk's office. They already emailed me, believe it or not. They're very quick, by the way. They already emailed me my DBA. Because I'm still, the LLC is Vasquez and McLean, but I'm doing business as Vasingman Yahweh. So it's gonna be like this. I'm gonna get myself a little max. I'm gonna do a little thing. It's gonna be delicious. It's gonna be tasty. It's gonna be heavily Mexicated. That is our slogan.
I like that actually.
I trademarked. I just because I had trademarked it, It is one of these.
Really?
Yes, I did. It's in the process.
Good deal.
So it's
that's something that a lot of people don't do.
I trademarked that. I trademarked badass burritos. I mean bomb burritos. I'm gonna use for our tacos. I'm gonna use a lot of what are they called? Brass knuckles. Is going to be the like every burrito has a sticker or because you have to label it, right? Well, if you have a queen that studied design and marketing, you got to make that label cute, especially if it's free and it's COVID, right? So every flavor has a label. So for example, that fisherman's platter is this beautiful and it's all black, a silhouette, right? It's very minimalistic. So and it's all black and white, kind of like the logo itself. So the mermaid, La Sirena, is this mermaid, but like in an arch form, almost like a shell, like a nautilus form, and she's like bass, like wop, because it's wet and juicy with all of the sauces, and it's fishy. I said it. Yeah, I said it. So there's another one that's called El Duende. El Duende literally means the gnome, and gnomes live in mushrooms. So that's the vegan chorizo. And it has literally just the silhouette of a gnome, but now and it gives it something. Can I get El Duende? It gives my person at the window a chance to interact with that guest. It's called El Duende. It doesn't need to be like Six Flags Resort. You're not going to insult my guest, but it opens conversation. I don't want it to be just here's my taco. I want it. Ask me. I want these guys. They have to study the menu. They have to know what they're serving. It's usually just going to be me and another person, and it's my face. It's my brand. You know, it needs
Yeah.
to. I want, like I said, it's the experience. I'm bringing the restaurant experience out in the truck, and from the menu to the service, to everything else. And by the way, if you haven't voted, today's Tuesday, and I'm voting. I literally vote right across the street. Right across the street. I'm looking at my
So-
voting poll.
That was something that I thought about. So when it comes to with you wanting to give back, could
I'm
you
s-
potentially, like, if you had your permits and stuff, could
I'm
you
gonna do so.
potentially?
Yeah, I'm gonna be permitted by October. You mark that.
Well-
Mark that down.
So
You know what's so great? And I'm going to shout her out right now. If anybody's in Boston, Ashmont Grill. So as a waiter, you know, Ashmont Grill by Ashmont Station in Dorchester. If anybody
Yeah.
hasn't been there, guys, go there now. Because their place is actually better now than it was during COVID. They have more space now than they did back then. They have a
Ashmont's
beer
been
garden.
around for a
They've been for a
long
long time. Huge supporters of all communities, of the LGBT communities in particular. They have a sister restaurant, Tavolo. Prior to COVID, I would go there because I worked down the street and I would frequent other places around there. I would go there 3 nights a week, maybe. And if you're in the industry, you tip at least 20%. You just do.
Right.
So I never did. I always did more, I guess, I think. But the point is, you're either liked or you don't like. And if you don't like, it's because you're a dick. So here's the story. The manager's name there's Tara, and Tara, her Instagram handle is Tara Dorchester or Dorchester Tara, and follow her, y'all. Follow, please. Ashmont Grill, great food, great menu. It's all over the place, and it's always quality. So I went there and I'm like, hey, I brought her a gift. I brought her a T-shirt and I brought her some merch. I'm like, hey, here you go. And I brought her one that instead of saying I like burritos, it said I like tacos because I figured she might like tacos. You can take that however you want. She chuckled, so I think I made the right choice. And I said, hey, here you go. Is there any way, you know, I told her what I told you guys, but this was prior to signing the lease. And I told her, hey, you know, I'm still struggling and I'm moving down the street. And I'm moving literally like 4 blocks. And if I would come here all the time before, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be coming now even more. I was wondering if you would let me bring up the truck and, you know, I can get you some free tequila because my friend Jessica, who's a big fan of the truck, of me, is a big supporter. She did my first TikTok video for me. And right immediately after that, I sold like 3 T-shirts. Like, she's so cool. She's in brand ambassador for about 3 different kinds of tequila. So I told her, hey, would you send me some tequila or whatever, like, and we can do this gig. And I don't know how you'd make money. I don't really care. But here's some free tequila as an incentive to just let me bring the truck up so I can just get people to follow and try and sell some T-shirts. Literally, that's all I want to do because I can't sell food. Well, now I do have a kitchen, and I can because I do have a kitchen now. I still can't sell food, though. But even before this, she told me, well, how about, I'm trying to think, and maybe I'm writing her up, but this is what she said. And just for thinking of it, I have to shout her out. How about if let me see if I can work out something where we can do a taco pop-up. You can use our kitchen. So that way you're not violating any health codes. And we'll figure out how to collect money, whether it's like a ticket situation or they can just do it through Venmo. And that way they get the food. And we're not breaking any laws, but you can get money and sell T-shirts. And my eyes just were like, what did you say? Like, okay, sure. Okay, Tara. Keep smoking what you're smoking because I'll do it. Yeah, like, sincerely. So to me, to see that and then a friend of mine in Maine was like probably looking into it as well. She has a bakery, and I remember 10 years ago, 15 years ago, like sitting, having wine at a mutual friend's house when we worked at Sibling Rivalry, coming up with names for our businesses and how we were going to do it. And here we are. She's already having. She has her baby, and I'm still trying to birth this first one, and then a kid. You know what I mean? It's just crazy how life goes around, and to see that support from Tara and from my friend, and even the guy that let me in the kitchen. The only reason why we did sign that contract, I'm still hurting, is because he's allowed me to go in there, just basically with like the first month's rent. Like it's hard, dude. It's been hard. It's hard. It's only gonna get harder. I think it's gonna get better now because now that I have a business license or not the license, but that I'm registered with the city as a business, DBA and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And the permits are in process. Now at least I can apply for a COVID loan to pay my employee. Because I'm not worried about me. I'm really
I want to ask you.
I'll work for free. But I still got to pay rent for myself. And I'll eat off the truck if I need to. But I got to pay my employees. I'm nothing without them. I'm nothing. I can't prep without. I can't. I can't.
I want to
And these
ask you.
people are leaving jobs to come and like put their livelihoods in my hands. This crazy motherfucker? No. I mean, I'm grateful. I'm very grateful. And now everything in my life has taken new meaning. I posted yesterday that this is probably the first taste of parenthood because I know that I need to lead effectively. I know that I need to lead, creatively, but responsibly and with kindness and from a place of respect. These people that I've hired are people that Trump would refer to as these people, but I don't refer to them as these people. These people are the ones that know how to make those tortillas authentically, and she doesn't speak English, and I need to protect her because she's in a kitchen where other people might mistreat her, and she's my kid. I need to pay her not $14. I need to pay her what a sous chef would be paid. I need to empower her. I am paying for her ServSafe certificate in Spanish. I am making sure that all of my manuals are written in Spanish as well as in English because I need to give her the tools to be successful so that I can be successful. This whole process and watching the whole Black Lives Matter and being in a situation where safety and cleanliness matters. I'm changing my tone now just to let you know there is a businessman here. This situation is not a 1 year thing. And this project is not a one conversation thing, and it isn't something that's happening overnight. I've been working on this for a very, very long time. And every single step that I've taken on my own and I've done myself. And I'm very fucking proud of that. If I make mistakes, and I will make mistakes, fine. I want to make mistakes, but I'm going to learn from them because the reason why things have gone smoothly is because I made many mistakes in the past and I haven't committed them again. This job is coming on the anniversary of a job that I did 4 years ago where I fell flat on my face and I got kicked to the curb and spit out. And I swear to God, I was suicidal, and that's not a fucking joke. After I got home, my brother's baby's mom, my good friend, came, and she had no teeth. She was recovering from addiction. And a year later, I found myself being strangled in a situation that was because addiction by my fiance. Listen, life goes full circle and things are crazy. Okay. But when I think that that happened 4 years ago, and now I'm in a situation, and that pandemic happened on the anniversary of that situation with my fiance, and then on the year of the situation with the fiance, on the evening of that situation with my fiance, I got hit by a car as a pedestrian and I almost died. And then a year later, the pandemic happens, and now I'm starting a fucking future. Dude, I don't know why I'm here, but it's to flip taco shells and to flip tortillas. It's definitely to do that because, again, I showed you off camera the signs that this truck was meant to be mine, and you guys agree, right? Like, there's no coincidence that the mask. Oh, I think my software for Toast just arrived. It did. I think I just saw it. Is. It's the UPS truck. Yay! I'm gonna go ahead and show you. So it's really happening.
Well, I know what you're gonna do with your night.
Yeah, no. So the thing is, I need help. I'm still waiting for the permits. I know that I got all the support from the community. I know that I got support from other business owners, but there's also hate from other business owners because I am competing. And there's also not hate, but I wouldn't say hate from business owners. There's also friction, and there's also competition, and it has to be. It's healthy. I have a lot of friends and family that are literally competing with me, but not as taco trucks. It's probably brick and mortars, which I'm seeing in probably a 6-month timeline. I am. I mean, in essence, kind of like the trailer that I bought is a brick and mortar in a way because it's stable. It's stationary. I'm very grateful for where I am now. I know that moving forward, I have now things in my life is going to change 100%. I'm now responsible for a crew of 3 people that's growing. I think it's going to be 4. I'm driving a hunk of junk that, I really have to be careful. That's even heavier than what I was driving before. I'll be honest with you. I get my license next week. I can't even drive this thing. 2 summers ago, 2 summers ago, I served 5 days for a DUI that I didn't even, deserve. I had no alcohol in my system. Let's just say New Hampshire. Long story. New Hampshire, when you're of this color,
Hmm.
and the car that's in front of you is smoking weed, and the person, even in court, says that they're an addict. Yet you may have anxiety medications, which is why I smoke weed, in your blood system. And if things don't go your way, I'm just happy that I'm here and that I can still breathe. But the point is, like, I've done this against all motherfucking odds, and I'm still facing odds. And the fact that the odds that I'm facing now are financial is like laughable, because not laughable that I'm like, oh fuck. It's more like, God damn it, really? You kill me. You take this away from me. Like you almost tried to do it because I literally died and came back. Like all this shit, and now it's like a question of a few $1,000s. Come on now, I'm not giving up.
Don't give up. Don't give up.
No. So it is what it is. It is what it is, and it's only gonna make easy come, easy go. Easy come, easy go.
Can I interject really quick? My laptop is on its deathbed.
Mine too.
But I have a new employee that's about to walk in the door that I need.
He was on 10% a little while ago.
Yeah. I
Rudy,
think
are
we
you
all
there?
I'm here. Sorry that my phone's at. I'm sorry. I told you I'm an entrepreneur. I'm Rudy B. Yo. Cardio, feminine cardio. So people, please buy a t-shirt. I really appreciate all of the messages of encouragement. Like that's another thing too. Like I'm not hip to the whole DMing, but girl, I even got a date out of it.
Man, Soundbites, we are live on Facebook, YouTube. Man, we have had the privilege to have Rudy Bello on.
Thank you guys for having me. So blessed. Thank you so
out
much.
there in Boston doing his thing, man. You're so full of energy, full of good spirit, full of good motives. I'm sure
And look, y'all, I'm gonna go out with y'all. Keep talking.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you the UPS.
Really
truck.
fast.
Look, it's right here.
No,
It's right
really
behind.
fast.
Oh,
Show
look,
us
oh,
the
look. Look, there's the truck.
there's man.
Yeah, see, so
It
this
looks
side.
like ready to
I
roll.
miss the style of houses so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
There's
it.
Boston.
so
And there's the
Boston.
UPS truck with
That's
that's the UPS truck that's gonna have the stuff that's gonna let me make some money, honey.
Nice.
We're gonna be making Tex-Mex, and we're live. You want to see? We're live on the internet right now. Say hello. See, vote, people, vote.
Why are you running?
Did he just run away?
real quick. Where can people go check you out at? What's the website? Social media?
The website is right up here. It's vaznmac.com. It's VAZNMAC.
Nice. VazandMac.com. You got your social media pages up already?
Oh yeah, look.
Beautiful.
There we go.
Look, my mama didn't raise no fool, and my daddy didn't raise me at all.
Nice.
It's been a situation. She's do I do? And help me, please. Please say it's been a situation. It's been a situation. The taco situation is real, yo. Buy a t-shirt. Vote for Ed Markey. And please vote for Joe Biden. I'm just gonna say it. Vote for Joe Biden. Vote for Joe Biden. Please vote for Joe Biden. Or otherwise I'll never open.
No.
If you don't vote for
And there he went. I think he. Oh, there he is.
He's not.
I'm out. My
All
phone's
right,
dead.
y'all. Well, it's been a great show. Any last words?
Thank you guys. Be prepared to be heavily Mexicated.
There you go.
Bye guys. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you for coming on the show. And then we got to get you back soon. Once you're up, open and going, we're gonna get you back on, brother.
Absolutely, you are. Absolutely.
Find out how it's going.
All right, I know.
Sounds
Right?
good. Well,
Bye.
Lindsay,
Make it easy.
Marco, any last words?
Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, we'll catch up with y'all next week, man. Lindsay, that was a great guest. And that's a wrap, man. We are way over on our time. But
No, just because he's not here, like he is so high energy, so much. He's always been this way.
That's
Like,
good because he's gonna need it in the food truck life.
You gonna need
I'm like that. Like, he hasn't changed at all. Like, hasn't changed at all.
He's a character. He's definitely gonna do well.
Yeah, he should. And we look forward to following his story, his adventure, and I'm sure we'll have him back on the show once he's up and running. All right, y'all, from the crew at Soundbites HTX, we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Bye.
Love and chicken.
Bye.